What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Nintendo Land, and welcome back to the third episode of Nintendo Talk. And today we have finally the legendary guest, the one you guys have been waiting for so long. Finally, Switch Stop is here to talk to us about all things Nintendo, next year, this year, everything Nintendo. Today we have with us Thomas. How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty well. Thank you so much for having me on. I can't wait to get into a lot of Nintendo stuff. I feel like this is a long-awaited collab, so glad we could finally get it rolling.
And PJ, how are you doing, man?
Pretty good, man. How are you doing?
Pretty good. Ready to talk. All right.
For sure. Hyped to get into some Nintendo leaks for sure.
That's all we have to get into right now, so we might as well. All right. So I don't know if most of you guys know, Marco Mero on Twitter is pretty reliable as of this year. He leaks Nintendo information, small things to big things. He's leaked a couple of games, believe it or not. Paper Mario, Mario 3D remasters. I mean, who hasn't leaked that? But some pretty big things this year, all the Nintendo Direct mini partner showcases. And he's leaked a lot of games for next year, apparently. A lot of big games. And as we know, pretty much nothing about next year besides Mario 3D World, which I'm sure Thomas is stoked about.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, that's the only thing we know. So I'm going to pretty much just go down this list of different information and leaks that he put out. The list will also be in the description down below and his Twitter link if you guys want to check it out yourselves. And we're just going to talk about the games. Sounds good, guys?
Yeah, sounds
For
great.
sure.
Alrighty. So he starts off talking about a new Pikmin game should be shown in 2021. He doesn't say it's releasing, just shown off. So first, right off the bat, I don't know. It's hard to kind of say anything on this because of Pikmin 3 Deluxe dropping. And I don't really have anything to say. I'm just tired of getting excited about this game because it's just been so long.
Yeah, since like 2015, right? Wasn't that when Miyamoto was like, yeah, it's almost done?
Yeah.
And, look at
Pikmin
us
4 is
now.
100% done. Coming soon. Yeah.
Biggest joke of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, this is one of those things. It's like a translation of Mother 3. It feels almost like mythical now,
Right, yeah.
within the Nintendo community. So it's kind of one of those I'll believe it when I see it moments, because I mean, I feel like I've been heartbroken so many times by this game. So I mean, we'll see. Hopefully this guy's right.
Right. I'm hoping whatever this game is, maybe it was just like they were trying to make this as expansive and as huge as they can, like a Breath of the Wild of the series or something. I don't know. It had to be something within the development because there's just no reason. Like you said, like 2015 this was talked about. And then we get like Hey Pikmin as the next game that came out after that. But
Which was just a total slap in the face. But yeah, Pikmin fans have been suffering for a little bit for sure.
yeah. But yeah, that just says it's shown off. So the next one is the first like real game that he claims is coming next year, which is the next big Kirby game, which he says it looks promising and looking to be released next year. Now, I have been saying this for a while. I've been predicting Kirby's going to be next year's like one huge title. I think it's going to be the 3D Kirby game that we finally going to get. I think it's going to be amazing because I think Kirby games right now aren't seen by a lot of people as like the Breath of the Wild or the Mario Odyssey.
Definitely.
So this is going to finally be that game that's kind of like, yes, I love Kirby, and I just for one, Star Allies didn't do too much for me. I thought it was very series stable. It was a Kirby game. So this is exciting to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, Thomas, you can go ahead.
Yeah, I think the like prospect of getting a 3D Kirby game is so exciting because I feel like Kirby is just one of those franchises that has kind of gotten a bit stale. I really liked Planet Robobot, I think it was, on the 3DS.
Yeah.
That one was an absolute blast. But Star Allies, I played the demo and I kind of skipped over the actual game because it just wasn't really doing it for me. And especially on Switch, we already have so many incredible 2D platformers. We have, the obviously the Marios, the Mario Makers, but then we got Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, which is one of the best 2D platformers of all time. And then you got other like third-party offerings like Rayman Legends that I feel like in order for Kirby to truly shine on the system, they either have to do something really unique as a 2D platformer or jump into that 3D space, which is really exciting.
Right.
I just had an idea, or not really an idea, but just kind of a thought of like some Nintendo series that have been kind of like stagnant. For example, like Star Fox and Kirby, for them to go to sort of like an open world concept of a game, taking that Breath of the Wild big step, because I feel like those two series are a little lacking. Like as you guys said, Star Allies just didn't do a whole lot for you. So I think Kirby definitely needs to take that big step for the Switch, especially.
Yeah, I just same thing as you guys. It just didn't get any better as I played Star Allies. It just felt like I played it before for a new game. Mm-hmm. It just felt like it was just too, mainstream the way the Kirby games always are. And that's the thing. Kirby games are always they're always good. I mean, they're never really like, this is just a terrible Kirby game. So it's about time they just come out with something ridiculous, something huge. But just like Thomas just said, I love Tropical Freeze. It's my favorite game. Probably top 5 favorite games of all time. I love that game. And I love the music, the art style, the level design, the difficulty. And so this one gets me excited. He's claiming Donkey Kong Country 6 is going to come next year. So I don't know where they go. And as most of the series, I always have like some idea of what they're going to do next. I think I'm going to be happy regardless. I don't know if you guys have like expectations for Donkey Kong Country 6, but...
Yeah, PJ, why don't you talk about this one? Because after you go, I have a question, actually, to ask the group. So you go first.
Yeah. I mean, Tropical Freeze, we got that port on the Switch, so it's definitely going to be nice to see a new Donkey Kong Country. That'll be really exciting. Like, I totally agree with you. Tropical Freeze is, like, a very, very good game. Didn't play it as much as I'm sure you have extensively, but still a really exciting series for sure, and would love to see it expanded more on the Switch because, I mean... Donkey Kong deserves it, right? I mean, want to see that for sure.
Yeah, I'm in love with Donkey Kong Country. It's probably it's up there with Rayman and Mario as like my favorite 2D platformers. And I 100% agree with you. I think Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze is just so good. Everything about it that you listed, I'm not going to repeat it, but it's just, you were dead on with that. So my question for the group is, what are you guys' thoughts on Donkey Kong Country versus 2D Mario? Because I am leaning towards Donkey Kong Country as the 2D platformer, and I said that during our last episode of our podcast, and PJ, you kind of had a like stunned reaction, so maybe Mr. Nintendo Land could be the tiebreaker here.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you this. I didn't think twice when you said that. It's Donkey Kong all the way. Not even a thought.
Wow. Let's go. I knew you were my man.
Not even a thought. So here's why. Okay, so I'm assuming you're just talking about straight up new Super Mario Brothers games because I guess that's all we have to go off of.
Yeah.
True.
It's just, they don't try to, do anything crazy special with it. And it's funny because it's like Mario Run was the first time they tried to change that formula by giving Mario, like wall flips and he could vault over enemies and do all that crazy stuff. But it's just like, I don't know. Mario Brothers, I'm just not a big new Super Mario Brothers fan. I think it's mostly I'm not a big 2D gamer at all. I don't like 2D platformers that much. But Donkey Kong just makes, I don't know, it's just Donkey Kong. It makes so much sense. I think they need to spend their time. You can clearly see how much work they did with each background, each world, and each level in every world had a different like art style theme to it. And it just felt like there was just so much more work put into the way they handle Donkey Kong Country games.
I mean, I kind of agree with you right there. I mean, it does feel like they put more work into it, but the reason that I side with 2D Mario, especially like the new Super Mario Bros. Games, like most notably Super Mario Bros. DS and Wii, are just really sentimental because those were some of like the first Mario games and like video games that I've like ever extensively played in my life. So that's the only reason that I kind of have a bigger connection to like 2D Mario than Donkey Kong Country, because other than when they started releasing like the Donkey Kong Country games on Nintendo Switch Online and along with Tropical Freeze, like I never really played like any Donkey Kong Country games. So I definitely, what I'm trying to say is I have a bigger connection with 2D Mario, and that's why I side with it. But very valid points. Like I would even agree with you, but that's just my thinking at least.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
New Super Mario Bros. Wii, for instance. That will always be one of the most memorable games I've ever played.
Agreed.
Even though I didn't like, it's not going to be like one of my favorite games of all time. It's a game that I remember playing with my family, my friends, and you're right. Like Mario does have that, and he started it. He deserves to have more, and I think there are going to be more games. I just have to go off what I've seen so far. And Nintendo's they got to push something big with it. They've got to, at least put in. It just doesn't feel like that same amount of just, detail and creativity is put in the way they do Donkey Kong. but we'll see. If they have another one, I'll be excited to see what it does.
I agree. I mean, 2D Mario is in like a weird spot right now. Like I always joke with Thomas on our podcast, like New Super Mario Bros. U, and then that title, like, New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, just like makes me crazy because it's like so ridiculous. Like I don't know. That's just me though.
Yeah, but we move on from 2D platformers to whatever you call Captain Toad because he doesn't jump. So, Captain Toad sequel, and that's apparently coming next year. It doesn't really say much about just Captain Toad sequel. Now, I am excited for this. I don't think many people I know like Captain Toad. My friends get on me all the time for liking Captain Toad. They're like, why he can't jump? Why are you playing this game? But I'm like, it's fun. It's creative. I'm like, I kind of like it. It's nothing like crazy. Like, it's not my top 10 of all time. But I just think, for me, what I see this being is Captain Toad. I think, what was it, $40? I don't think it was a full price. The original
Yeah, it
Wii
was
U.
40 on... Yeah, it was only 40 on the Wii U, and I think it was still 40 on Switch, which is good. I was worried they were going to upcharge that to 60 like they have done in the
so
past,
many
but
games.
yeah, no, it was still 40.
See, and I feel like that was, purposely done because obviously the levels are all really condensed. They're like little mini puzzle levels that you can blow through the game probably an hour and a half, 2 hours if you just want to speed run it. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that was just kind of they're testing it. They tested it with Mario Galaxy with those little, or was it Mario Galaxy or Mario 3D World? Mario 3D World, was it?
3D World,
okay.
yeah.
Mario 3D World, they tested it, and they seen it at work. They made a game out of it. Now I think they should just expand it, make the world just a little bigger, and just like I would just love to see Toad just go across this like giant land that he can like go through puzzles and just do stuff instead of just going on this one cube that you rotate, and turn those into like mini games instead this time. But I'm excited for it.
I mean, I think it would be perfect. Oh,
Yeah,
do you want to go?
Okay. No, you go ahead, because I'll probably end
Sure.
up ranting.
Yeah, sure, that's probably a good idea then. I was just gonna say I think it would be perfect for 2021 considering we're having 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. I mean, that's just great. If you like the Captain Toad levels in that game, then here's a sequel coming out later this year. They can kind of phrase it as that. So I think it would be an amazing idea, and I enjoy the Captain Toad game itself and even the Captain Toad levels in 3D World. So great decision by them if this leak is real for sure.
Yeah. It 100% surprises me that they're doing this because it's not like Captain Toad was a super popular game on the Wii U. So for most people, it was a new game on Switch. So it's not like, this isn't like the type of game that people were dying for. But then again, like, when does Nintendo really listen to the games that people are really asking for? I feel like Captain Toad kind of I want to say as a series, but I mean as a potential series, but currently as one game, it kind of like it's like it's not what I think of when I think of Nintendo, but it kind of exemplifies the company really well. It's taking a really small gimmick and just running with it with like a ton of creativity. And I'm interested to see where they go with the sequel because I think the DLC they added to the Switch version had some of the best levels in that game. So it's like them showing like, hey, we still know how to make these levels. We can still make them pretty good. So I'm interested to see where they take a sequel because, as you said, there's really like will they go open world? Like, will they make it more of a traditional game? Like, there's so much they could do with this kind of concept of a Mario game where the main character can't jump.
Right. I see they take it more 3D World style and just make the worlds kind of like those, not necessarily open world, but big enough to where like you can just explore one world for a while instead of just 2-3 minutes. But like you said, it looks like they're experimenting, and you got to have me ranting now because I'm going to go back to Kirby, and that's kind of what they've been doing with Kirby with the 3D space. They had that little Kirby 3D Blowout game on the DS, and they had the 3D Battle Royale thing they had. I'm just like, it just feels like they're experimenting with the 3D Kirby, and finally they're going to open up, and that just sounds true, both of them.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, and next up, we got somebody we haven't seen in a while. Wario apparently is going to have a lot of things coming in 2021. It says there's actually going to be a Wario Land Shake It HD for the Switch, which, real quick, do you guys believe that one?
I mean, that's hard. That is hard to believe. However, if it was going to be any Wario Land game, I feel like Shake It is probably the one to do, just because the Wii remote is so similar to the obviously to the Joy-Con. So if they're just going to port one over instead of making a new one, then I guess it's not. Because Wario Land Shake It was on the Wii, right? Or am I embarrassing myself here? All right, yeah, that's what I thought. So, yeah, I mean, I think it makes sense, but it's just once again another bizarre choice. This is a really weird year for Nintendo.
It's so weird.
Yeah, I don't like. Sure, go for it. I'm a big Wario. I'm more of a WarioWare guy, but go for it. But I mean, I don't know. It's just weird to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's very unexpected, but that's also what kind of makes me think it's real. Like, it's so out of left field that I kind of believe it. Like, I even said this before. Like, it's it's a little wild, but again, would not be surprised. But you know, Wario making sort of a comeback with this series with multiple games is something I'd like to see for sure.
Wario 35.
Oh my!
Where's the Wario 35th
please,
anniversary?
no.
You think we could make that many videos about it if it was
Oh,
Wario?
no
Just
shot.
replace all our Mario videos
No
with
shot.
Wario. Oh man.
Yeah, it's a weird choice. And I was sitting here looking at this for a while because I thought I was like, the first time I seen this league, I was like, I'm seeing things. What am I? Yeah, I mean, it sounds like Nintendo because I'm sure you played the game. I don't know if you guys have played the game before, but it has a very clean art style. It's like cartoon, kind of almost anime style art style, and it'd be so easy to bring over. That sounds like something Nintendo would pick. It's just something they don't have to do any work with. It sounds terrible, but it just sounds right up Nintendo's alley. But I don't know.
No, you're not wrong. It seems like the type of game that, like, when I go back and picture it in my brain, I feel like it's already in HD. Like, I remember it in HD because it's so, like, as you said, the art style, it's like, it's all kind of like thick lines. It almost reminds me of, like, if Cuphead didn't have the, like, 30s aesthetic and, like, didn't have, like, the film overlay with, like, the flickering and all that stuff. I feel like it would look kind of like that. So it like, I already kind of picture it as 3D, so I guess it makes sense that it is one of those games where, like, Nintendo really has to do absolutely nothing here.
And the rest of the Wario games, I think the only other thing he really brings up here is WarioWare, which, like you said, I do think I like WarioWare a lot more. It's just, to me, even better than Mario Party to play sometimes with your friends. It just, there's
definitely
so
Super Mario Party. I mean,
God,
that's definite.
I'm not a huge Super Mario fan or Super Mario Party fan, but we won't get into that. That's
a podcast right there, exactly. And yeah,
honestly,
yeah, and it's just WarioWare. It's just endless. You can just go through, see how many games you can run through without losing. And they're always just, they're gonna make people laugh. They're gonna make your family laugh. They're just a fun little game to play with everybody, and it just seems like the last couple we've gotten just feel like remakes. I know we got WarioWare Gold, which was essentially a remake, and I don't even remember there was one before that. I think, what was it, Smooth Moves? Was that the last one?
I don't know if they technically count Game & Wario, which was that, like, Wii U game. I don't know if that one counts, though, because it doesn't say WarioWare, but it's kind of similar, like, style. I don't know. They've been kind of experimenting with the Wario, like, WarioWare has always kind of been their experimental franchise, especially with like, all the way back on the Game Boy Advance, they put what was it, like a gyroscope in the cartridge for WarioWare Twisted. So you could, like, tilt the GBA and all that. That was, like, the only one I really played that, like, a lot of. So I'm not super knowledgeable on the franchise, but I just want to, I think you're definitely right. Like, sometimes it can be more fun than Mario Party to just, like, blaze through as many as you can, as fast as you can. It gets really hectic and gets really fun.
Yeah. And
for sure.
That's the last Wario we got was, besides Shake It, they claimed that Wario is once again going to be produced by Goodfeel, and it's going to have an original Wario Land game come to the Switch eventually, which there's not much to say there for me. I mean, they know what they're doing. It seems like at least with Shake It, it was a really good game. I feel like they're good. It's in good hands. They're good. I don't really have anything else to say about Wario.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah.
I agree, though.
Next up, I'm just going to throw all of these into one category because I feel like that's how you can talk about them, is lots of Metroid information.
Yes.
We got, apparently, a 2D Metroid is mostly done and just waiting to be announced. Game was in development since late 2017 and was meant to be a cross-release between a 3DS and the Switch, but in 2018, Nintendo shut down any remaining 3DS projects. Then they bring up the Metroid Prime Collection. They're still holding out just for a good gap between that and Metroid Prime 4 to get the player installed to, buy the game, check it out. Played through the first 3 games, and then they're saying that Metroid Prime 4 is aiming for 2022.
So, yeah, Metroid 2D, so I believe we kind of had like a accidental leak, it seemed like, from Nintendo, where there was like this Super Metroid skin for the Switch. I don't know if it was a dock or like a Switch itself, but anyway, there was a screenshot from like Samus Returns, and people were like, did Nintendo just leak Samus Returns for the Switch? And, you know, we really don't know if that's true. It really was just a screenshot, but I mean, we'll have to wait to see that. But 2D Metroid to the Switch is something that's been like rumored for a really long time, so if this is true, this really doesn't surprise me, and those Metroid Prime Collection and Metroid Prime 4 dates seem pretty on point. I mean, I think everyone here can agree that it's proper to at least release the Metroid Prime Collection once again, because we haven't had like a new Metroid Prime game since the Wii, right? So definitely smart for the people who haven't like played that series at all, because the Switch has brought in a lot of new players to video games just in general, like especially from Animal Crossing, because it was such like a casual title, right? So yeah, definitely Metroid Prime Collection has to come out before Metroid Prime 4, but that's my take on that.
Yeah, I just imagine the Animal Crossing people going like, okay, I finished with Animal Crossing.
Now I want to play Metroid.
Oh, what's the next?
Not Mario.
What's the next Switch? Yeah. What do I go to from here? No, I agree with everything you said, PJ, and I think that this, like, regardless, you know, of the rest of the league, let's throw that to the side. I think this is right. Like, even if the rest of the league is wrong, I feel like anyone who's like been really paying attention can kind of draw this exact timeline. There was an interview where the producer of Samus Returns said that the future of 2D Metroid would, you know, depend. It would hang in the balance of the sales of Samus Returns. So obviously, if the game sold well, they would work on a new 2D Metroid. That game released in September of 2017, and this leak is saying it started development late 2017. That lines up because that game did sell well enough to warrant a sequel. You know, the whole 2018 3DS shutdown thing, that makes sense just with the, you know, games. That's when the games really stopped releasing. And then with the Metroid, like, Prime trilogy, we've gotten rumors for that since, like, 2018. So I think we can all agree they're just waiting for Prime 4, which seems to be in, like, purgatory. But, you know, once that eventually comes out, we'll get a we'll get the trilogy, I think, probably 6 months before Prime 4 actually just comes out. We'll end
maybe
up
even before that, I think, but yeah, I mean,
see, that's where I think lots of people have been saying, I've been seeing a lot of just like it's going to happen a year before, and I feel like it almost needed to happen a little sooner, around like the halfway mark, because I mean, Prime games are no games to just blow through. I mean, they're deep games. There's a lot of stuff jam packed into those things. There's three Metroid Prime games, and you gotta also think, you know, most people, the average people that are going to be like, hey, let me try this game, they're going to, you know, take their time through those 3 games. You should give them, you know, some space, you know, about halfway through the development of Metroid Prime 4, let those games come out to remind people, because I feel like if that gap is still too long, people are going to start, you know, I feel like most people don't even think about Metroid Prime 4 right now. I think most people's minds right now are on, all we can think about is 3D World and Smash DLC. So, I mean, you got to keep that alive, and I guess a 2D Metroid would do that, and I'm sure that is almost done. I'm sure it's going to probably be early next year, around the springtime. It just makes sense, and yeah, but I think it's going to be fun. I think I was able to get the Prime Trilogy a couple years ago. It was like an insane deal on the Wii U. You got it for like $10 with that and Punch-Out or something. And yeah, that was the first time I played through them. And yeah, like I said, they're long games, and it's going to take people a while, so they should at least space that out. Like you said, get it out maybe a little earlier than just a year.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But now, these next couple ones, I don't know, you guys might have more information on than I do, so I'm just going to talk about them real quick, bring them up. It claims that there's going to be a Pokemon presentation early next year focusing in new Pokemon Snap, which is going to happen in the spring, and minor games like Detective Pikachu and Pokemon Collection February, and Pokemon Gen 4 remakes and Let's Go sequel to be announced later in 2021. Now, I don't know anything about Pokemon, really. I told you, I don't know if I talked to you guys about this, but I think I said Sword was my first Pokemon game ever. And my friends hate me for it. Wow. They finally got me to play it.
How did you like it? How did you like Sword? Like without even thinking about like the other controversies you probably heard before.
Yeah,
you know,
I'm actually curious
what
about
were your
this,
thoughts
yeah.
My
on it?
moderator asked me this on the last show, and I made him mad because I told him I kind of liked it, and
That's what I predicted. I thought anyone who's not, doesn't know past Pokemon
Yeah.
games, they'd like it. That's
I liked
exactly
it
what I thought.
because of one thing. Okay, the story for me was so boring. I thought, as someone
We
that
can
never
agree
plays
there.
Pokemon, I'm
We
like,
can agree there.
I'm gonna walk up in every gym and use the same move over and over again, or I'm gonna pull out this, obvious Pokemon that goes against whatever gym I'm going in. And I'm just like, it's just rinse and repeat. And most of my fun came from just collecting everything in the Pokedex. That was so fun to me, going throughout the wild area, because I was like, man, I gotta start playing other Pokemon games. And my friend Eli was like, there's no wild area in other Pokemon games, Landon. I was like, oh, well, this is fun then. But I love the wild area. I love just filling the Pokedex. It just gave me an exciting feeling that I found something that was rare. But yeah, that's the only thing I played. And I can tell you from them and from people I've heard that Pokemon Gen 4 remakes is, I guess, something that you guys have been looking forward to for a very long time.
Yes. Yes, I have.
Yeah, PJ in particular. I'm gonna let. This is PJ's 3D world. It's his golden
All right,
goose.
PJ,
So
let's hear it.
I'll let him talk about it for a bit.
So do you want me to kind of assess how I feel about like Gen 4 remakes, or do you want me to kind of like break down like
you
the
can break
Pokemon
down
collection stuff? Because I can.
the presentation,
Okay. All
all of
right. So I'll do that then. So I'll say this: that new Pokemon Snap it's cool for sure, but it's not like the crown jewel of what I'm really talking about here, right? So this Pokemon collection, which is actually rumored to be Pokemon Master Collection, this was like leaked out on like Game UK or something like a couple weeks ago, and it was said to include Red, Ruby, and Gold, I believe. Wrong order, but those three games.
You're right on that.
So when I first heard that, I was like, they're really going to charge full price for us to play Game Boy games. Why not put that on, Nintendo Switch Online is beyond me. But anyway, if that is real, I'll definitely be skipping over that purchase because I feel like it would just be smart to put it on Nintendo Switch Online. You could even like prompt that purchase with trading and however else whatever else they want to like implement with like online there, because I kind of feel they're a little behind on that stuff still with just releasing like legacy games, because NES and SNES games are getting a little bit old for me here. So moving past that, Gen 4 remakes. The Sinnoh games are definitely my favorite Pokemon games ever. I swear by them. This does also include the Soul Silver and Heart Gold games, the Gen 2 remakes, of course, which are amazing too. So just going back to Sinnoh, though, really looking forward to the Gen 4 remakes, and hopefully they don't have a lot of the problems that Sword and Shield had in these games, because I am. You've seen on my Twitter, I'm not very fond of Sword and Shield, right? So I have a lot to say about it. I just think that game was made more for new Pokemon players rather than the players that haven't, or the players that have played the past games before, right? So it totally switched up the formula completely. The wild area, I had a lot of issues with FPS, story, just the graphics, the textures even, that might be a little picky, but oh well. But most of those issues I hope are kind of resolved in Gen 4 remakes, and hopefully these can be the best games possible, because Gen 4 is just something that is very close-hearted to me, at least gaming-wise. Some of the best games I've ever played, and one of the first games that I ever played, so hopefully that goes down right. But I'll leave this to you, Thomas, for the Let's Go sequel, because I've gone on for a little bit. So, yeah, go ahead. The Let's Go sequel is likely to be Johto related, right? So, opinion.
Yeah. So, just for you, Landon, and I guess anyone else who doesn't know much about Pokemon. So the first Pokemon Let's Go games, Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, those were remakes of the first ever Pokemon games in the Kanto region. And then for the second ever Pokemon games, they had the Johto region. And so that's why people are like assuming, the Let's Go sequel will be remakes of the second Pokemon games, which is, the Johto region. I kind of liked Pokemon Let's Go for what it was. I thought it was fine. It was a bit Baron content, but what can you do really there? I just think it's bizarre that if they do a sequel to Let's Go and have
I was thinking the same
remix
thing
to Gen 2 on that they have 3 remakes. Like, that doesn't even make sense.
Before.
They have the main series of games, then they have the remakes. Yeah, the remakes with the Gen 4. And going through, and then the weird like spin-off remakes with Let's Go. I mean, PJ and I have talked about this in private, and I think probably on the podcast. It's just, it doesn't even make sense. Like, I don't know what they're doing there, but
I always made jokes that they're like remaking the remake and like, what is Pokemon doing? What is their timeline? But just stuff like that. It's kind of funny. But I mean, I think the Let's Go games originally were supposed to be on the 3DS. Like we were talking about before, how that 2D Metroid cut off. It was supposed to like cross-release between the Switch and 3DS, and that was like ultimately canceled. I think that, like, I don't know if this is a hot take or not, but I think that the Let's Go games were originally planned for the 3DS. Like, it really just looks like that to me, but maybe that's why it has reduced content, but who knows? I mean, second Let's Go game is I mean, I didn't really like the Let's Go games, but I'm not exactly like opposed to playing Johto again, as long as they have Kanto along with it and not just have like the Johto region. Then I might look into buying that, but if they exclude it, then not too sure.
Yeah, like I said, I was in my head seriously thinking the same thing. I was like, okay, so Gen 4 is happening, but what is this, like this 1 and 2 coming, and then how is this going to end?
Timelines all over the place.
It's going to clash, and then like, are you going to remake 4 again? And like, I don't. But okay, yeah, I know my place, so that's why I don't say anything about Pokemon to anybody. So because I see people on Twitter, and I'm like, I'm going to anger people. I'm going to anger PJ one day. I'm not going to say a thing. I'm just going to play this game and enjoy the wild area. But yeah, that's all the information I have really on Pokemon. I'm slowly getting into it, but we'll officially, we'll probably start going back, making our way back through some of the older games, but. Another series, don't know much about. So these 2 games, I'm just going to put in one. I'm going to talk about the one I know about. So obviously, I'm not big on Fire Emblem. The Fire Emblem, it says the Fire Emblem remake. Now, I don't know what this means. Is this like the first game are they talking about? Or do you guys know?
I don't know.
Not too sure.
Well, the first game, I'm probably about to offend a ton of people. If you're a Fire Emblem fan and watching this, don't dislike the video. Come over to Switch Stop and dislike our videos.
Yes.
This is not Layden's fault, and he does not endorse what I'm about to say. Fire Emblem sucks. No, I'm kidding.
I'm not.
The franchise... I'm not, yeah. PJ just hates that Violet got into Smash. No, I think Fire Emblem is, like, fine for what it is. The fans kind of annoy me.
I agree.
For reasons I won't get into now, but yeah, so like the Fire Emblem remake, so I know for a fact that actually I think it's like this week there's a new Fire Emblem game on the Switch. It's a translation of the first game on the NES, so I don't think they're going to be remaking that because that doesn't really make sense. Why would you remake that? You're just re-releasing it translated for the first time. They did remake the second ever Fire Emblem game, I believe, under the subtitle Fire Emblem Echoes, Shadows of Valencia, I think it's called. So they'll probably make another Fire Emblem Echoes game. So just like how Pokemon has, Pokemon Let's Go, Pokemon Let's Go Eevee, Fire Emblem now has Fire Emblem Echoes, and then, the subtitle of the game. So they'll probably do another one of those. As for what game it is, I have no idea. I doubt it's going to be either of the 3DS games, which is Awakening, Conquest, Fates. I'm probably getting it wrong. I don't know at all. But yeah, it'll probably be some like weird DS game that never came to
the West,
to the Americas or something, or maybe like Path of Radiance or something. Like, because I know that one from Smash. I think that one has Roy in it. I'm not sure.
That's all I pull my information from. So,
don't hurt me, please.
Not
exactly like knowledgeable in Fire Emblem, but I concur.
Yeah, Smash just, like, I think I'm on the same page with PJ here, because Smash just left a nasty taste in my mouth with these characters.
Yes.
And I just can't get over it. I'm still being a baby about it. That's just how I am. And I'm just like...
I feel the same way, man.
It's just bothering me still. But, like you said, we could go on about that for, like, hours. And unfortunately, we weren't able to get the entire video here on one video. We decided to split it up into 2 because it's so long and there was just so much stuff to talk about. So to see part 2, that will be going up on the channel live tomorrow. So if you enjoyed this and you want to see part 2 really quickly, make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you guys are new to stay up to date on all things Nintendo. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll see you on tomorrow's video. See you guys.